and Zoning Committee to order. This meeting will begin with a public hearing. Anyone other than the applicant or their representative wishing to speak must register and submit the registration slip to the zoning administrator at this time. Following the hearing, we will conduct our monthly business meeting, at which time we will vote on the applications. You may stay and hear how the applications are decided, or you may leave following the hearing. The applicant and town board will be sent a copy of tonight's decisions. Any other person wishing to receive a copy of a decision can sign the sheet on the table at the front of the room. Those of you wishing immediate knowledge of the outcome of these proceedings may call the county zoning office tomorrow morning. The procedure we will follow for hearing each application is as follows. After each application is read, the applicant, their agent, or representative will be asked to present their application, followed by any question or comments from the committee. Then all correspondence will be read. Then others in favor will have a chance to speak, as well as anyone objecting will have a chance to speak. I will then ask for a summary of the committee's field observations and any staff comments. Finally, the applicant will be allowed a chance for a short rebuttal if they wish. Anyone wishing to speak should use the microphone up by the podium. State their name and direct their comments to the committee. Because of the number of applications tonight, I ask that all testimony be kept brief and to the point. The applicant will have 5 minutes to present information on their application other than questions from the committee. Anyone else wishing to speak should limit their testimony to 3 minutes, and any rebuttal by the applicant will also be limited to 3 minutes. If you are testifying as a nearby landowner, please tell us where your property is located relative to the subject property. Tonight's hearing will be recorded, and a recording will become part of the record. Comments that are based on hearsay or secondhand information, as well as slanderous or prejudicial remarks, will be ruled out of order. The committee has looked at all the properties or been provided with photographs, and the record will reflect these observations. Any person affected by an administrative decision of this committee has 10 days from the filing of tonight's decision to make an appeal. Such appeals are heard by the Board of Adjustments. Information and applications are available from the zoning office. County assumes no liability and makes no warranty as to the legality of any construction commenced prior to the expiration of this 10-day period. I will now introduce the committee. To my left, immediate left, Bart Peterson. Down on the end, John Van Omgren. In the back corner, Dave Bossard. And on the other side, Pat King. My name is Robert Wadel. I'm the Planning and Zoning Chairman. And Todd Waller, our administrators to the left. Becky and Cindy are in back taking notice and running the show for us. So with that, the first one on the list is Levi and Clara Miller. They are not here. We'll give them a benefit of the doubt, and we'll move right on to Brad Shinnick. Hope I didn't kill that. Sun Prairie has made an application for a conditional use in accordance with sections 58-236, paragraph 17, and 58-454, paragraph 27 of the Waushara County Zoning Code to store a 2017 Crossroads Zinger 328 SB travel trailer in the general ag zone. Location, a 20-acre parcel of land known as the west half of the southeast quarter of the southeast quarter, section 16, town 18 north, range 8 east, town of Coloma, 3rd lane. You want to come up and tell us what you're up to there?
Just having the camper on the property for weekend visits until we plan on building a house there next fall-ish and moving up and making it a permanent residence. So we just installed electric a year and a half ago or so, and then found out we needed a permit for our camper. Didn't know that. So as soon as we found that out, applied for their permit, went through the process, and here we are today.
Okay, the committee may have a few questions, otherwise we've got some general ones that we ask everybody. It's to be the same for both. Have you had a recent survey done on your property?
We had one, no, it would have been 7 years ago when we purchased the parcel. We had the soil test for ability to future build, and that's actually where the camper is placed now. We had that area tested, and that was the last time we had anything surveyed.
Okay. Are you sure where your lot lines are or corners are of your property?
Correct. So we did get the lot lines. I guess that is another survey. We did have that completed, I would, about 5 years ago by a local company. So they came out and marked all the property lines. We have that official report sent to us as well, the parcel report, with the date stamped on it, everything.
Okay, have you presented this to the town board for their consideration?
The actual survey, sir? Or
No,
I guess-
your proposal of the travel trailer.
Oh, I just sent in the application as I was told to by the zoning office when I called.
Usually, it's always nice to get the town informed. I think it goes along with their comprehensive plan, but usually it's nice to ask the town board because they do have the final
Okay.
kick of the can, I
I
guess.
did call the town hall, and that's the individual that walked through all the paperwork with me, then corresponded with them via
Probably
email.
the county clerk called or.
Right, and we've submitted, all the documentation has been submitted to the towns and we haven't received anything, so.
Then usually they're good with it.
Yep.
Have you talked to any adjoining neighbors if they've got any concerns about the? trailer?
We talked to one of the two permanent neighbors, which is the guy just to the north of us. He doesn't have any concern with us. The other gentleman to the west, we rarely ever see over the last couple of years.
Okay.
But we do keep it as far off site of the road as possible. I mean, it is kept in good condition. And we maintain the property as well.
Okay. Does the committee have any questions of,
I noticed there's a picture of a outhouse.
Yeah, that's like emergency. So like, since we don't have running water or septic in currently, we're gonna wait to put that in next year when we build our house. We generally just go up to the gas station if, gotta do number two. And then that emergency situations go in there and then we take the waste back with us and dispose properly at our residence. So that'd be like double bagged and then you can put it in with like pet and diaper waste from the city disposes of it. That's a very rare occasion because the gas station is so close to us.
sure.
Okay.
Any other questions? If not, you can have a seat.
Okay.
Any correspondence?
No, we haven't received any correspondence and we have nobody registered to speak in favor,
Right.
against, or even in.
Staff comments?
Okay. Everyone should have a copy of the final staff report. Just briefly, just a quick summary. The applicant, Brad Shinnick, is the owner of the subject property, is requesting a conditional use to store a 2017 Crossroads Zinger 328 SB travel trailer in an AG general agricultural zone in the town of Hancock. Given the fact the property is vacant, we really don't
Concord,
have,
Coloma.
I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, town of Coloma. That's my mistake. Sorry about that.
I was gonna say,
No,
wow, that
I
changed,
apologize.
that changed since
I apologize. That's, and, but, given the fact that the property is vacant and undeveloped, we really don't have any records on it. This request actually does though, come to us by way of a complaint that we received in January. And that as a result, our zoning enforcement office, and that did notify, the applicant of the need for conditional use. I know there was some going back and forth. I looked at the emails but here we are, and that the applicant has finally made full application for the conditional use. The property, if you've been out there, and I've shown you pictures here, the entrance to the property is right at the bend of Black Oak Lane. Should be noted that third lane, as it travels north, is actually a private road at that location. As illustrated on the pictures, you can see centrally located on the property. I gave you views basically north, south, west, and east. It is adequately screened and basically not, viewable from any adjoining properties. One thing that was noted is that there is an outhouse that has been constructed on the property. Typically, we look at those as want to make sure that they do conform with code, because when we start getting into outhouses, we only allow vault privies and so forth that meet county code. In research of the files, though, we have in instances, as long as it's kept in a neat and environmentally safe nature, we have allowed luggable loos. This is kind of very similar to a luggable loo. kind of a downgrade, I guess, or downscale Lugabaloo. But the property was very clean. I did inspect the trailer, just kind of the underside of the trailer, just making sure no water hookups and that there was no gray water running onto the property and everything is clean. Staff has reviewed this request. We find it very similar to those that we have reviewed numerous times before. It is ideally situated on the property, adequately screened from all views. And we are recommending approval of the conditional use as listed in your staff report and subject to those conditions.
Okay. Do you have anything else to say at this time, Brad, or?
No, I'm also not familiar with these type of hearings,
Yep.
so I'm not sure if I should or not.
It's up to you. Now's your chance to speak or forever. I mean, if you got anything that you didn't bring up or,
I guess my one question would be like, was it like an actual neighbor complaint that there's
No.
something wrong with?
I
I
believe,
guess because we do keep it really clean and I don't want to like.
and actually, when,
expand.
when we say complaint, I think it came to us by way of the assessor, and that had notified the county
Okay.
that there was a travel trailer there. They typically have copies of records and things like that too. Didn't see anything, which is pretty common.
Okay,
So,
that's
yep.
all I have. Thank you.
next application, Jamie Zinnicker. They didn't kill it too bad.
Mhm.
Wild Rose, Wisconsin has made an application for conditional use in accordance with sections 58-903, paragraph 3 of the Washira County zoning code for filling and grading in excess of 10,000 square feet within the shoreland area in the OP Park and Recreation Zone. Location, a 38-acre parcel of land known as the southeast quarter of the southwest quarter, plus certified survey map 1083, section 27, town 20 north, range 11 east, town of Springwater, Archer Avenue. Want to come up and just tell us what's going on? We were out there, but tell us anyway.
Yeah, we're
Now's your
developing
chance.
around the pond, campsites and, where the canal comes in and, I don't know. We thought that we could excavate 35 feet back, you know, and whatever. And we have a septic permit that's, I believe, okay by the state, but I don't know if you guys have gotten that yet, but it's not been okayed by you guys yet or whatever. But, so the excavator is out there getting that to a smooth grade so that they could install the septic system. And so we were not aware of the setbacks that you had to be with from the lake frontage. And then we were doing some cleaning up of because we had talked to zoning numerous times, come out there and we looked at, you know, what we can do with the, you know, invasive species and to clean up the shoreline and, you know, our view corridors and all that and replanting vegetation, stuff like that. And so then we kind of got halted in the middle of this process, but yeah, no, we're to this point, I guess.
Guess some of the questions we asked them don't really pertain to you, the property and the survey and all that, because I'm sure it's all.
Oh, yeah, we've been, when we bought the property
Do
surveyed.
you have any questions? We were out there and you kind of walked us through it.
Uh-huh.
Any
sure.
other questions?
I know this, doesn't really pertain, because all you're really asking is for the 10,000
Correct.
exchange, but just out of curiosity. You said you're putting septic in, are you gonna have like a communal bathrooms? Is that the intent?
No, that's for them sites will have full septic systems, all them sites on that water.
Each individual? so
No, it's one system that they all hook together.
But I mean,
into the one system.
each of those cabins will have a bathroom facilities?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
all right.
Yeah, and then
Curious.
most of the sites at like Evergreen have full septics where they have multiple sites that run into one system. And it's I don't know, it's sized comparable to like a 4 or 5 bedroom system is what's
Is it an actual septic system?
It's an
or
act-
holding tank.
actual septic system.
system.
Yep. It'll have a pump chamber. So I don't know if you remember that one post that's kind of in the middle. That's the middle of the septic field. The tanks will be down on the east end, kind of on a lower, so gravity to bring it there, and then it'll pump
Okay.
up to that field.
Is that similar to what you have for some of the other campsites or?
No, no, the rest of the campsites, we all have the black holding tanks that,
Okay.
local septic guy
I
comes and
noticed a
pumps
couple
out.
of those, so I was
Yep,
wondering.
yep. No, it's for our campground, not, but a lot, many campgrounds do have full systems and they should. Our mobile home sites, which are, there's just a few left with mobile homes, but
Mhm.
then there was 10 of them there, and each of them had a small system that two of them would share a system, but they're real,
Okay.
a smaller system, like
And
maybe.
You're not gonna have like running water to each one of those?
Oh, yeah,
yet?
yep,
There
yep,
is gonna
yep,
be
yep.
two.
There'll be what, yep.
Okay.
Yep. Electricity, running water, and, yep, and then the full.
So they're residents, so to speak, but they're not permanent. They're not, they can be
No.
moved or relocated. Is that?
Yeah, yep, yeah. So that they have to be movable. Yep, that's the, the stipulations. Originally, when we started, we thought they had to be on axles, but then we joined this Waco, it's a camping, Wisconsin camping organization, and we started talking to them about it, and it was like, no, they don't have to be on wheels. They just have to be able to pick them up and put them on a trailer and move them. So I thought, well, that's great. Now then that makes the size different too. You can go up to 16-foot wide, like a trailer home would be, that can go down the road legally. And but I don't believe they'll probably never move, once they're there. But because the people just sell them to the next person rather than haul it out. I would assume that anyway.
Any questions from the committee?
Oh, go ahead, John. One other thing, you had mentioned that you might possibly dredge that pond.
Yeah, we had a permit to have weed harvesting, and Winninger, the guy from town here, does that. I don't know if you're aware of that, but anyways, he came out and said, well, there's too many trees in there for his machine to come in. So we started talking around, and my brother happened to know a guy that does a lot of cleaning out of canals on Lake Puckaway, that are attached to the lake. And so we contacted him. He said, well, I can come clean that out, but come to find out we didn't have the correct permit to be doing that. So now we're kind of at a standstill with that, but I've been in contact with the DNR guy that's in charge of that. And I think we're going to be able to finish that process the way it talked. But the guy that we hired, I guess, has been in trouble before. So that was kind of the bad part of that. But we weren't aware of that when we
He
contacted
could
him.
do it as long as you paid for it.
What's that?
He could do it as long as you paid
Yeah,
fines.
pay
and
for, yeah.
penalties.
So we don't know where that's coming to yet, but I believe that we'll be able to finish cleaning out. Because it was a man-made in the 50s, and that's kind of the big, stipulation with that, from what I understand. But we'll find that out further in the future, But if not, we'll definitely be able to get a weed harvest permit again if we can get them trees out of the way.
Sure.
Then they can come in and at least get that, because it's actually 4.5 foot deep out in that middle out there, but it's just a mat of
Sure. Muck.
crap. Well, yeah, not even a lot of. It has this algae seaweed. What's the name of it? Cara. The floating algae. It doesn't even root, and it's just in there, and you can almost walk on top of it. But Winninger thought he could get it out of there, but just with all the trees in there, he didn't want to wreck his machine to do that. And then this guy came along, and our permit ran out at the end of the year. His machine broke down in the fall, and then he came back, and then he had a couple of calls. And
Do you have a question yet, John?
Yes, we have a permit.
nope. The water gets shut off around October 15th and turned on April 15th roughly. And so, yeah, there's no permit. We have some of the campers are there all summer, that they go away for the winter, but they're only there for 6 months or less. But
Any other questions from the committee?
I guess one reason I asked that was probably the most expensive part of dredging is removal of the stuff.
mm-hmm.
So I was just wondering where you're going to dispose of the dredged material.
We-
I'm assuming fairly close to.
We have enough property there to get rid of that, and it'll turn into really good soil actually once
Right.
it's out of there. But
Okay, that's
So that-
Pat, that's going to be a DNR general permit
Yeah,
that they're
yeah.
going to have to get.
Right,
So,
Yeah.
and with that, there's requirements that can't be within so many feet of the ordinary high. And
Mm-hmm.
so that'll
Yep.
all be stipulated with their plan.
Okay.
Okay, I guess if you have nothing else, you can have a seat.
All right, thank you.
Any correspondence?
No, we have no correspondence and nobody registered.
Okay, staff comments.
Okay. Once again, just give a quick summary of the report. The applicant Jamie Zeneker, owner and operator of the property, is requesting a conditional use for filling and grading in excess of 10,000 square feet within the shoreland area in the OP Park and Recreational Zone in the town of Springwater. The original Wilson Lake Campground and Resort, which was formerly known as the Patzers, and that predates county zoning. So outside of several sanitary permits that were issued in the early 70s, we really don't have a lot on the property. We do have a preliminary old layout of the park, which does show this, as well as the units. I believe the original site was like 114 units. They did receive, if you recall, a zone change in 2021 for an expansion of the park to allow 100 new camping sites. So this is just going back and now laying groundwork for the old units in that, which is noted on the drawings as W1 through W11. Obviously this came to us by way of a DNR complaint. Unfortunately, this property, even though whether or not it's man-made, the DNR does regulate this as a water body of the state. Therefore, it's subject to the same regulations that everyone else is according to the water. And so any grading that's done within 300 feet of the ordinary high is going to come under regulation. Our code clearly stipulates between 2 and 10,000 square feet can be done by way of a land use permit. Obviously, since we're considerably over that, it does need a conditional use. With that, our land conservation boys have looked at this. I know myself and Josh, as well as John, have been out to look at the property. They did maintain the 35-foot buffer area with the exception of the view corridors, which is permitted by code. In addition to that, what we saw, even though it appears that it's going to exceed or not exceed, but be approximately 20 feet or thereabouts, the applicant is proposing on installing some additional shrubbery, flowers, plants, trees, and grass. As you recall, the committee did visit the property yesterday, and we're generally supportive of the request. The committee's only concern was that of erosion and sediment, possibly getting to the water, given the unfinished nature of the area. They did direct the applicant and that to proceed with installation of their planning scheme as soon as possible once approvals were received. Staff has reviewed this request and believes that with the assistance of land conservation, the shoreline restoration and re-veg can be done to meet county standards and prove to be an enhancement to the camper's experience. While it appears on the surface that said area of disturbance is considerable, staff believes that the proposed grading plan is in accordance with the original camp plans, and staff is recommending approval, subject to obviously review and debate by this board. But we are recommending approval of the conditional use, subject to the conditions listed in your report.
All right. Do you have anything else to add or? All right. Right. That concludes the hearing. We will go on with our agenda as follows. Roll call will show that everyone is here. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as printed?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Bart. John, did you second it? Or Pat did, sorry. Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Minutes? Motion for approval?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Dave. Is there a second? Second by John. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. No unfinished business, new business. Action on the public hearing applications. First one.
Mr. Chairman, if I could.
Yes, sir.
And that with regard to the Millers, I just want to make sure then maybe at the conclusion of the two that we heard tonight, we should make a recommendation on the Millers and that with regard to possibly tabling. So just wanted to remind you of that.
Giving them the benefit of the doubt. I know it's jumping procedure, but if they would show up, we
We-
probably could
Yes.
bend the rules just a little bit if they do show up, but they're not here yet, so. With that said, we'll go to the first application for Brad Shinnick. What is your wishes, gentlemen?
I would make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Heard a motion and a second. Somebody want to read the possible approval conditions?
Sure.
Hey, Bart?
Well, the requested applicant, if approved, will be consistent with the spirit and intent of the zoning code and will not be contrary to the public interest because, one, after reviewing the application and considering all the related testimony, the application, if approved with conditions, will not harm the public or neighboring land uses. The testimony in opposition has been considered.
There was none.
Oh, there is no opposition.
Number 3.
Visibility is good at the driveway location and traffic is slow here. There is no public safety issues. And 4, the proposal matches the lot and available area.
All right, conditions?
Therefore, the request application, if approved, the following conditions shall apply. The development must be in substantial compliance with the site plan and testimony provided at the public hearing. All the required setbacks and all their codes must be complied with. Adequate parking must be provided. The driveway shall meet all required codes, including fire and access code requirements to provide, for access by emergency vehicles. In addition, the driveway shall provide good visibility and a turnaround area to prevent backing into the road. The applicant will allow agents of Waushara County access to the property to ensure compliance with all applicable regulations. The trailer must be kept licensed and roadworthy at all time. No additions, attachments, or permanent foundations are allowed. The trailer must be located at least 100 feet from all lot lines. The trailer shall be located so that it is not visible from neighboring properties or the public road. The zoning office shall annually inspect the trailer to ensure compliance with these conditions.
All right. With that said, I will ask for a roll call vote. Bart?
I approve.
John? Pat?
Yes, approved.
Dave?
Approve.
Myself approve. Okay, the next one. Jamie Ziniker. What are your wishes, gentlemen?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Pat to approve. Is there a second? Second by John. All in favor? Pardon? Guess we gotta read the stuff first. right?
Yeah, probably should.
Okay, sorry. I get ahead of myself. Get excited here. Sorry about that. Who wants to read the,
I'll read it.
all right?
The requested application, if approved, will be consistent with the spirit and intent of the zoning code and will not be contrary to public interest because after reviewing the application and considering all related testimony, the application, if approved with conditions, will not harm public or neighboring land uses. Erosion control and stormwater management plans should address any issues, and the proposal matches the lot and available area.
Conditions?
Therefore, the requested application, if approved, the following conditions shall apply. The development must be in substantial compliance with the site plan and testimony provided at the public hearing. All other required setbacks and all other codes must be complied with. All permits must be obtained, including land use, building, and sanitary. And the applicant will allow agents of Waushara County access to the property to ensure compliance with applicable regulations. The filling and grading shall be done in accordance with the erosion control plan, filling and grading plans, and additional information provided at the public hearing. All other codes must be complied with, including any DNR permits that may be needed. The applicant shall work with Land Conservation Department to provide an acceptable grading and revegetation plan which meets Wisconsin Biology Technical Note Number 1.
All right, with those conditions and reasons, I will take a roll call vote as well. Pat?
Yes, approved.
Dave?
Approve.
John? Approve. Bart?
I approve.
Myself approve. It is approved. That concludes that. Any new business action on public hearing
Do we
application?
want to,
Oh, I'm sorry, you wanted to do the, Seeing the people from Coloma, the Amish did not show up.
I would make a motion to table the Miller application.
All right, you heard the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I'll second.
Pat beat you.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. It is tabled and you can
Okay.
send them a letter,
I
tell
will.
them we wanted to give them a chance to
Yep.
speak in
I
that.
left that message with them saying that if they didn't show by the conclusion that they're tabled. So,
All
okay.
right. Any action on any other public hearing applications?
Nope.
Any action for requests or extensions other than what you had yesterday?
Right. No,
Minor changes to previously approved?
we already did that.
Next month's public hearing applications?
So at this point, we just will have the tabled Miller request. And then the business meeting, like I say, we'll most likely will have an item for possible rescission of Paulson's commercial grain bins.
No hearing would a hearing be necessary then?
No,
Thursday
no
for
public
the-
hearing necessary.
we
He
could
will
do
get a
that.
certified letter from us.
I mean, with the Millers, if they,
No,
we don't have to have a public.
no,
Okay.
we'll publish again into the agenda.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. With that said, motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Bart. We are adjourned.
Yeah, you would.
What's that?
Perfect. Both made a motion.
Oh. Take your pick.
Sure.
I said
She-
quarter till.
She says, how long? I said, well, 10-2 maybe. Really? I said, all right, 22.
I thought quarter till, and it would have been that if.
No, you can go home and just
Thank you.
go straight home. No
That's
stopping
what-
anywhere.
Not.
That Dairy Queen or,
Dairy
Some
Queen's
people
the wrong
don't.
way.
So I do this one
you could,
first, right?
you could
Yeah,
detour. You could detour. Like,
I'm not even willing to detour.
Okay. all right.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, thank you. John, do I have your voucher? Your voucher?
Pictures for you.
Thank you.
Yes.
What are you gonna?
Along with my orange.